Hi and welcome back. So in this video I'm going to share with you guys how I make banoffee pie. I had it many years ago at a local restaurant here, and they had since taken it off of their menu and they've never put it back on, which is really kind of sad because it was so good. And so I have tried to make banoffee pie in the past, trying a couple of different ways, and wasn't quite the same. And so I thought I'd go ahead and try again and show you guys. I am going to be making or using a graham cracker crust. Now you could absolutely make one from scratch, but I just found for convenience I'm just going to buy a pre-made one. So I've got the little bit larger one that's 10 inches, and also to make dulce de leche you can take a can of sweetened condensed milk and boil it. I just found that, again, I want to be able to throw together a really quick dessert for tonight, and it is just easier to purchase it versus making it. Now, there's nothing wrong with making it, and there's nothing wrong with purchasing it. Sometimes you need a quick and easy dessert to go with it. So I've got 2 cans. This is just because normally it's a little bit smaller pie. But we'll see. I feel like I'm going to probably use both, but we'll see what happens. And then I've got fresh bananas, and then I've got heavy cream to whip up. So let's get cooking. And so first things first, I'm going to start with whipped cream. So I've got 2 cups of heavy cream, and I'm going to start with a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. I may need more, so I've got another 1/4 cup measured here. When I make fresh whipped cream, I don't ever really measure. I just, unless a recipe requires it for other things, I just eyeball it if I'm just doing fresh whipped cream that's going to go on top of something. So we're going to start with that. I'm also going to add in about a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla to start. So I'm going to mix this up, and then I'm going to taste it real quick to see if we need more powdered sugar. Okay, so that's all I'm going to mix for that right there. I'm just going to grab one of my tasting spoons just to see. I don't want to make it too sweet because there's going to be a lot of sweetness with the dulce de leche. So let me just see if we need to add a little bit more. I don't think so. I think that's fine just the way it is. So I'm going to go ahead and get this whipped up. Okay, so I just whipped it to stiff peaks, so this way it'll hold up a little bit longer on the pie. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and assemble the pie, and this is really quick and easy dessert to put together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up 1 can of the dulce de leche. And then we're just going to take some of it and spread it out on the bottom of the crust. I'm going to take a little bit of it off. So I don't think I'm going to need 2 cans. It looks like 1 is going to be sufficient. So I'm going to just smooth a layer onto the bottom like this. I'm just pulling a little bit off. I put a lot down in order to not pull up the crumbs on this crust. kind of like when icing a cake, you want to put sometimes you want to put a crumb layer on. Sometimes you can do it depending on how crumbly the cake is by icing it, by putting a bit more on so you're not pulling up the cake itself. All right, so I think that's good. Now I'm going to get one of my bananas. And I grabbed 2 because you never know if a banana is going to have any bad spots or not. And then I'm just going to slice them and then just drop them. And I'll lay them flat when I get done if they don't land on their own. Okay, so I'm just going to lay them flat, spread them out if I need to, like that, and then that way every bite should get banana. Then I'm going to take the rest of the dulce de leche and put it on top of the banana, or I should say the bananas. We're going to see if we can spread this around. I'm just going to scrape off the caramel. We definitely don't want to waste any of it. I just rinsed it off, so I'm just going to now top it with the whipped cream. Alright, and then we're just going to kind of start, I mounted it in the center, and I'm just going to push it around to the edges, like this. You just want to cover the caramel and the bananas. Now, if you wanted to make it even more like a mile-high pie, you could absolutely do another cup or 2 of whipped cream. I feel like this is enough for how we like it. But I do make a pie, and I'll eventually do a video on this one of a chocolate cheesecake pie, and it does get mounted like really high with whipped cream. So now I'm going to get some chocolate, and we're going to shave some chocolate on top. Okay, so I have a large microplane for shaving chocolate. Oh, well, not break it apart. Okay, there we go. For shaving chocolate. Sometimes I'll use cheese or whatever. I usually just kind of save it for chocolate, but I'm just going to take this Hershey bar and I'm going to go ahead and just break off about half of it. It won't even take half, and I'm just going to shave the chocolate on top of the pie. And then that is it. I'm going to let this sit in the refrigerator, and I will, after a few hours, I will cut into it and show you guys what it looks like on the inside. But this is how quickly you can put together a banoffee pie, and you only need to let it refrigerate it for an hour or 2 maybe at most, just to get it to chill all the way through, and you are good to go. So I just like to take the plastic lid and take the paper off of it, and I'll just push it down like this. It's just, instead of trying to cover it with any kind of plastic wrap or foil, this just helps from really smushing down the pie itself or the whipped cream. And so I'm going to stick this in the fridge, and then I will be back shortly to show you guys what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half since the pie has been in the fridge. So I'm going to go ahead and cut into it. I've got dinner cooking, but I want to check and make sure. So I'm just going to oh, it looks like it turned out really, really well. It is set with no problem. I know when I cut into it, you can't really see the caramel necessarily, excuse me. It's been a long day already. But you can see this is where the caramel is, the bananas are under there, and then of course with the whipped creams. Oh, well, one, I've been waiting to try this, so I'm going to go ahead and spoil a little bit of my dinner to go ahead and try the pie. That is so good. Now, if you don't like graham cracker crust, you can do this in a regular pie crust. Just obviously bake it and make sure to poke holes in the bottom so it doesn't puff up. I believe it's been so long since the restaurant had it. I believe theirs was a regular pie crust, but I really wanted to go with a graham cracker crust this time, just because for some reason I like graham cracker crust in the summertime with summer pies. And so I'm not sure if this qualifies as a summer pie or not, but it is still what I wanted to do. So you could do either or, but this turned out really, really well. So that is the end result right there. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful night.